I still sit here kind of in a surreal moment that my childhood anime is really moving on past its original story. I kind of feel like everything has been a dream lately with the channel and Fruits Basket Season 2. Anyway, I'm here today to tell you guys my thoughts and review of the first episode of Season 2. I have a lot to say about the premiere and I hope you are all looking forward to it. If you enjoyed this review, then I highly recommend you check out my live reaction to the first episode if you haven't. It's pretty good, I have to say, wink wink. But anyways, I'm just going to hop right into it because I really do have a lot to say about the first episode. I'm BriThi, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts and review about episode 1 of Fruits Basket Season 2. First off, let me tell you what I was expecting from this episode. To be frank with you, I was expecting something totally different than what we actually got. I was expecting just some minor events happening to warm us back up to the start of the new season. I don't know, kind of like some shenanigans with Kyo and Yuki with them transforming. Just some good old heartwarming stuff to get us ready, you know? But nope, the season really just came back swinging. The first episode gave us more depth to a character I didn't really think about and even introduced 2 whole new characters. So yeah, the new season really blew all expectations I had out of the water. Now that you know my expectations, let's really get into the episode. First off, I have to say, just like in my reaction video, Yuki is such a gorgeous human being. Oh my god, just look at him. Oh, From the start, we get this inner monologue from the president of the Yuki fan club, Minagawa, as Yuki is waiting for Toru. When I saw this, I knew that she was going to be a big part of today's episode. Usually in anime, you don't get an inner monologue scene unless you're actually dying in that episode or the episode is about them. Thankfully, it's the latter. I have to say, this wasn't my first choice in who I thought the episode would cover, but overall, I enjoyed it. Minagawa was a character I honestly didn't know the name of before this, so you know her relevance to the story was absolutely horrendous. But walking out of this episode, I really felt like I connected with her more. I have a reason to care for her and her feelings instead of being this background throwaway character. So while I was expecting something different, I enjoyed her little story this episode. What really made me get a big smile on my face was the interaction between Yuki, Toru, and Kyo back at Shigure's house. To see the gang all back together and still up to their usual antics really made me smile. After everything they have gone through together, they can still argue and get along the same. After sitting down and really rewatching this episode, I feel like Shigure's speech about a heart-pounding summer was really a foreshadowing of things to come. While he said it in a humorous way, I'm sure that this summer will be anything but humorous. I'm guessing it has to do with the beach because the opening is solely focused on this beach and the characters. Openings sometimes spoil a lot of the story in anime, but I felt like this opening was vague enough to not give anything away. Well, except that this beach is probably going to be a big chunk of the first half of Season 2. I want to take a sec to highlight how gorgeous everything about the opening really was. Prism by AM/PM is one of the softest yet beautiful openings I've heard in a while. Every character got their little moment in the spotlight, from Soma members to even classmates. It was amazing. I had to listen to the song for at least an hour on repeat before I could stop and resume daily music consumption. God, it was just so good. If you can't tell, I really enjoyed the opening. Now I want to talk a bit about Manabe and Machi because they really take up the spotlight of this episode for me. These two are Yuki's board of executives for his time as the student council president, and man, are they something else. Manabe is a wild figure that you can't really get a good read on, but I enjoy his wacky, bubbly personality. It's just so different from Yuki's, extremely different even. My first impression of him was that he was this lazy but eccentric kind of character from his introduction. But that quickly changed when he and Yuki had that little conversation in the hallway. He has a way with words that is able to throw off even Yuki, who is usually amazing around people. I can tell that he is much deeper than what he gives off on the surface, and that is so exciting. I think while at first Yuki is going to dislike Manabe, he will surely warm up to him. My reasoning for that is that he treats Yuki more as an equal than this prince that everyone holds on such a high pedestal. It's kind of ironic that this kind of foil to Yuki is so reminiscent of his older brother Ayame. Maybe after warming up to Manabe, Yuki will see more of the good in his older brother. While I was able to get a good feel for Manabe, I was unsuccessful of getting any sort of read on Machi. For my first impressions of her, she seems like a very mentally frustrated character. In her introduction, she is seen frantically looking for something. The whole counselor's room is a mess. The real question for me is, what exactly is she looking for? What is bringing her to such a state that she has to look so hard? I'm so curious about this. She is probably the character I want to know the most about right now. She doesn't get a scene with Yuki or any other scene past her introduction, so she still is a character mainly in the dark. The final thing I want to talk about was Minagawa's interaction with Yuki. First of all, we get a really good look into the mind of Minagawa and her relationship with Yuki. She has this blind admiration and love for him when she really hasn't gotten to know much about him. Not only that, but she has this obsessive mindset of other women being around her beloved Yuki so much. You would think that this kind of character is really irredeemable, but the fact that she is able to acknowledge this bad mindset makes her a great flawed character. One piece of imagery that I really loved in this episode was when Minagawa was at her house admiring a picture of Yuki. You see her blind love in full display as her face is turned away from the mirror. Fast forward a bit, after running away from Yuki, she acknowledges that she hates this woman that is looking back at her in the mirror. But her face isn't shown in this because she can't move on from this terrible mindset. She cannot face herself in the mirror, and that's why her back is turned. Still indulged in that terrible mindset, she carefully strokes that picture of Yuki. It's a powerful moment for her character, and I love looking back on it. Besides that, there is one more part of this scene I want to talk about. I think her involvement in this episode really helped highlight Yuki's growth as a character. During Minagawa's conversation with Yuki, she notices that he is able to smile much easier. I think this is a testament to how much Yuki has grown since his first year in school. Minagawa flashes back to Yuki and his smile during their first meeting, and I have to say, it's very different from the one he shows now. Our boy Yuki has grown so much, and it's thanks to Toru, much to Minagawa's displeasure. I hope to see him grow even more when he's exposed to people like the other student council members. For me, he really feels like he's being pushed to another level after leaving his comfort zone by joining the student council. Oh, there's actually one more thing I want to talk about. I almost forgot to talk about the ending theme. To be honest, I might have enjoyed the ending more than the opening. To me, ending themes are like little goodbyes in anime form. Come back next week for more. This ending theme really gave me that feeling. The soft but upbeat vocals really set me at ease. I can already tell that after some of the more heart-wrenching episodes, I'll definitely have to lean back on the ending to calm myself down. The visuals are very minimalistic but at the same time very gorgeous. We see the animals in their respective order on their way to God's home. This is actually a callback to the first episode of Season 1. With every passing member, we get silhouettes with each Soma with their respective animal. It's an easing ride, honestly. If you really look deeper into the ending, there are a couple of neat details I honestly didn't notice at first. Just like in the legend, the rat is riding the cow to get there first. Another little detail that a subscriber actually caught is that the last few seconds of the ending theme is actually a callback to the first few seconds of the opening from the original. I couldn't believe it, but when I listened back to it, it really was it. So good job, Jillian, for spotting that. That was actually so cool. What a really well thought out ending for a great show. With that, let's wrap everything up. My final thoughts on this episode is that it was something I wasn't expecting out of a first episode for Season 2. At first I was just happy that it was back, but after sitting on it, I'm shocked really. This show really throws you back into the midst of things. Don't get me wrong though, I thought this episode was overall fantastic at setting the mood to get into serious drama. The introduction of Machi and Manabe really are adding a big shakeup to Yuki's life, and I'm so ready to learn more about them. Especially Machi because she seems so cool. The one thing I have gripes with this episode is that they really just threw Kyo to the wayside this episode. He was on the screen for a good minute and then gone, vanished when the world really needed him. But on my episode rating meter, I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. There really isn't any rhyme or reason to this score, just a gut feeling. Thank you, my future/current subscriber, for watching this episode review. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on episode 1 of Fruits Basket 2020. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm BriThi signing off. Johnny. God, that was so weak. Fucking kill me.